All right, good evening, everybody. I made a Season 6 tier list, as you can see here, for ranked play. Apply has a video called Fixing KarQ's tier list because he has an opinion. Flats has a tier list opinion. Everybody's got a damn tier list for Season 6. And I've always said, for stuff and content like tier lists, everybody's gonna have a differing opinion. So what I think this user, Donler on Reddit, does really well, every season he compiles a bunch of different creators' opinions and weighs everybody's opinions based on a scale, and this is probably a better accurate representation of what the general community, or I guess the influencers feel heroes are rated, which depicts a much more accurate picture. Because like if you just take my word for something, you know, it'll be X. If you take Apply's word for it, for example, Apply thinks Joker Queen is D, and if you just took, and he thinks Ryan is D, and he thinks Reaper is F tier. Like if you just took that and agreed with that, then like, you know, you're missing out on a lot of other people's opinions. Doesn't mean you have to believe one person. Just take my opinion, take everybody's opinions, and help inform your own opinion based on what we perceive at our level. So in any case, I wanted to review what happens to be the 16 aggregated influential hero tier lists for Season 6. This might be the best representation, obviously, so I'm gonna go over what people believe based on hero strengths. So as far as I understand it, Donler rated S tier as a +2, he rated A as 1, B as 0, C as -1, and then D as -2. If you have any A pluses, my list has like all these weird ratings. He told me he averaged and added them up together to kind of give a more I had a much more nuanced approach because I had two lists on my tier list. I separate mine between medal ranks and top 500, what I see on ladders. So what we have here is Emong, Wanted, myself, Metro, Crow, Cager, Poco, Toniki, Flats, J3, Apply, Greed, Kuruja, Nitro, Coach Mills, and Game Leap. And one thing's for certain, when you look at all these 16 creators, everybody firmly believes that Ana is the strongest hero in the game in ranked play. The weakest one is Roadhog. Donler's in the chat. Shout out to Donler TG in the chat. Like I said, he is the one who compiles this every season, I believe, and I think he does it really well. It's just really good. It's good to see everything at a glance. Everything is highlighted based on what people believe is at the top. So I put Ana as A+. I didn't put her as S tier, but arguably it seems like a lot of people believe Ana is either S. Emong, Wanted, Crow, Cager believe Ana's S. Flats, J, Greed, Kuruja, Coach Mills, Game Leap. So Nitro was the only one who thought Ana was a B tier. That's interesting. Nitro is a Brazilian streamer, top 500 player as well. So I'm gonna look at the top 5 heroes. Let me see if I agree with them. Ana, Kiriko, Orisa, Illari, D.Va. I originally rated Illari A or S tier. I actually think she's more of an A tier the more I play with her. I don't think she's as good. After those nerfs to her ultimate, I actually want to re-rank Illari. I would not do A/S. I would just do AA, which might weigh it down to what, 1.25 if you average it out. Or no, A is 1. So I'd lose 0.5 here, but Illari would still be rated high when you average it out to everybody else. Who thought Illari was bad? Or not bad, but more average. Crow thought Illari was average. Apply thinks Illari's average. I agree with most of this. I think Ana's strong, Kiriko's strong, Orisa's strong. Illari is pretty good. D.Va's strong this season. Tracer, interestingly enough, I actually think Tracer is weaker this season. Now that I played the patch for 3 weeks, I don't think Tracer is that high tier because Torbjorn, I actually think Sojourn, Soldier, Torbjorn are better than Tracer in this specific Orisa meta. I think it's really hard for Tracer to convert completely right now. I don't know if I'm alone on this. I originally gave Tracer a B for medal ranks because I firmly believe Tracer is harder to capitalize, especially at low ranks where everyone's running Orisa and all this healing. A+ if you're like in the hands of a great player. Wanted actually thinks Tracer is B as well. Everybody else still thinks A, S, 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 A, A. What about this list? Tracer AA, B for Apply, Greed, B, Nitro B, but SS. Okay, no major standouts here. So let's actually start looking at things that shine in red. And this is the rest of the list. Like these are all give or take. Sojourn, Soldier, Baptiste. I'd actually argue Baptiste is higher. I actually think Baptiste is a top 3 support along with Ana and Kiriko in ranked play. I gave Baptiste an S in top 500, A for everybody else. I'm surprised Bap is rated so low. So why is Bap only 8.3? It's because Poco thinks Bap is C. And then on the other list, who thinks Bap is not that great? Kuruja, Coach Mills, and Game Leap. In my opinion, I think Bap is the best right now at the highest levels. For sure in this meta. It's really good with Orisa, Ramatra, Sigma, and those are 3 very, very common tanks. It still works with Zarya, and it still works with Junker Queen as well. What else stands out here? Ramatra. I actually see a lot less Ramatra this season. I don't think Ramatra's weak. I think he's still very serviceable at A and B, to be honest with you. It's just Orisa kind of owns Ram, so I see a lot less Rams in ranked. Nobody gave any glaring bad ratings. B in the middle, B, okay, that's fine. Who else do we have here? We have Ashe, pretty good. Echo's fine. I actually think Zarya's pretty good right now. An alternate version with Bastion is to bubble the Bastion as well instead of playing it with Orisa, but I think Zarya is fine here at 6.8. Now, Bastion is actually sitting here at 6.3, right in the middle around B tier. We have A, Wanted thinks it's S. I thought Bastion's S tier for metal ranks, A in the high ranks. Like, he's pretty, you can burst him down. People still think he's pretty B tier. Anybody actually think Bastion's awful? J thinks Bastion's S. Apply, Greed, S, B, A. Coach Mills thinks Bastion's C, and so does Game Leap. So those are the ones that stand out, I think, the C. I think everybody else agrees he's kind of in the middle. Interestingly enough, Hanzo's down here. I think Hanzo's a pretty strong support right now. Then we go down to the Zen, Brig, Sombra, Sigma. I don't know. Sigma at 2.1 is kind of surprising to me. This one's the next standout one, to be honest with you. B for Emong Wanted. I thought Sigma was an A+. Metro thinks it's A. Crow thinks it's B. Kager B. Poco B. Toniki B. Who's giving Sigma the terrible ratings here? B flats. J thinks it's A. Apply thinks it's A. Greed thinks it's a C. Karuja thinks it's a C. Nitro thinks it's A. Coach Mills thinks it's an S. Game Leap thinks there's a lot of C ratings for Sigma. Doomfist. Doomfist got buffed this season. Doomfist is everywhere, but he is kind of counterable. I feel like if you play Orisa, it's kind of hard to play. So Greed doesn't think Doom is very good. A D rating. Everybody else, A, B, A, C, S, A, C, B. Now let's go down to Lifeweaver. Emong, A-, Wanted B. Me, I gave him A and B depending on the rank. B+, B, B, D. Well, Kager thinks Mercy's a D tier as well. I just saw this red here. I don't think Lifeweaver is as big of a throw as people expect. D tier in the previous seasons, understandable. Right now, I don't agree that Lifeweaver is D. A, B, A, C. Karuja C, A, C, C. Solo queue, I actually would argue Lifeweaver is even better in solo queue in like metal ranks because he just heals like crazy and just pops a tree and it's just so much sustain. If your team has an Orisa in metal ranks, you just win by attrition by just spamming heals on Lifeweaver. And I think at the highest level, I'm seeing a lot more Lifeweavers right now too, a few times. He's a defensive heal bot. Yes, he can play make a little bit with Petal. I don't actually think people are life gripping to play make offensively because if you're in the back line, you're pretty much trading your life. You're pretty much dead in high elos. You sit there and play for tree and you play for tempo, like a first ultimate right there. And Lifeweaver is actually pretty good against Orisa's ultimate specifically and counters a lot of stuff. So, you know, actually I wanted to go back to Mercy. What do people think of Mercy right here? I should have called this one out. We have an AA. I thought Mercy's still fine around B, B+, A, B, A. So Kager thinks it's D. Mercy, you do depend on someone else. I think this was a little extreme. I don't think Mercy's like a throw, like a D tier all the way in the bottom. Poco thinks it's S. I love how these two are the complete opposites. And then Mercy over here, A, C, B, B, B. That seems pretty fair. So that's one call out there. Wanted, getting rolled by Sim, so he thinks Sim is S. I don't agree with this because I think Sim is like really good on the maps that she's good on. I think she's pretty good on Flashpoint and Control, but like, I've always been a firm believer that maps with like a lot of moving parts where the team fights like move a lot. It's just like there's situations where she's like very meh on, and that when you average those out, she can't be S everywhere. I think S should be reserved for like really flexible supports as well, or flexible heroes. Versatile, almost played everywhere. When a hero is truly played on every map, that's like an S tier. Orisa is S when I originally gave that to her. I actually don't think Alari should be up here anymore, so I take that S away. So Mr. John kind of getting rolled by Sim. He's definitely rated Sim S. Everyone's got their opinions. Game Leap thinks Sim is D tier. All right, as we continue moving on, any standouts? Widow. Junker Queen is actually surprisingly really low. I'm surprised at this because apparently Overwatch League started running it again as well. I think Queen still has a lot of sustain. I've seen Queen beat some Orisa comps. We're kind of getting rolled by some Queen comps too, because they just, if you all in at the right time, it's still pretty good. C, B, I gave her a B. A, B, A, C, A. Queen a C, B, D tier. Interesting. I don't think Queen is a complete throw by any means. I think Ryan is harder to play against Bastion and stuff like that, but Queen can still like poke. Ryan has to sit there with the shield or just put it down. And then Queen S tier from Game Leap. Also, I want to point out that these lists also have like their explanation. A broad list from Emong, GM top 500 tier list for Wanted. I had a combined list. Broad list for Metro, top 500 analysis from Crow. I think he looked at Korean ladder. I think I've seen his videos before. Broad solo queue for Kager, broad list for Poco, max potential for Taniki. These are like important distinctions. I should have seen this. Top 500 for Flats, broad lists for Jay, high rank, so top 500 I suppose, high ranks for Apply, broad list. Bronze to diamond for Karuja. So that, you know, whenever I say like these look very interesting when you like, you know, flip them over, it's because of these. Broad list for Nitro, broad list for Coach Mills, broad list for Game Leap. Dollar did a great job with all these little like small little details here. Not all tier lists account for meta-driven synergies. When tier lists do not explicitly use a consistent lettering system, letters and points are assigned based on a tier, rank, order, or description. Thank you, Donler. What else is kind of a standout? I thought Cass is like pretty average, below average this season because his fall off damage is pretty bad at the high rank. So I know Wanted's gonna rate Cass as C, but I think for the broad list, the average player, Cass is probably still serviceable at B. I don't think he's A tier still at all. Well, yeah, the fall off nerf is pretty rough, so I think most people do think he's kind of in the low tier. Genji surprisingly kind of low. I still think Genji's pretty. I've seen a lot of Genjis today too. And Crow was analyzing top 500. S tier for Genji. And wait, what the heck? Pharah D tier here? Well, I guess this doesn't account for like, if you're raw dogging Pharah with no mercy, then I think Pharah is pretty low tier, but I don't think anybody even plays Pharah without a mercy pocket in high elo. What is this? B, so then where do we have? Genji D tier from Game Leap. I mean, Genji was still played in Owl at the highest level, which doesn't mean that he's a throw pick, I don't think. But it like, it's a lot of HP to go through to burst through the BAP, but I actually think you can target Alari pretty well as Genji as well. You can deflect the Bastion, just wait. You can farm your right clicks pretty well against Bastion up close to him. Okay, anyways, as we continue down the list, another standout one is D tier for Mei, according to Crow's top 500 ladder. I don't think Mei is very popular in top 500, simply because like she's a very like brawl comp. Like Overwatch League will run Mei with like Orisa or Ram or something for brawl on certain maps to like wall people off, and they have a strat. She's like, you need to all be in comms to make it work. Mei right now feels okay. Now that I think about it, am I changing my opinion? B? Yeah, I think she still sticks around B, like right down the smack middle. But Apply thinks Mei is A in top 500. Well, there is a lot more brawl. It's less divey. Don't know about A. Coach Mills also thought it's A. Then now where do we have here? Moira, B, C. Am I the only one who gave Moira an A? I might be. C, C, B, C, B, A. Okay, Flats thinks Moira's A, B, Apply thinks Moira's D in high rank. A, C, C, B, C. This one's, I can sort of see this. Like, if you're a proficient Baptiste, you can play Bap Lucio instead. But, like, I actually think Moira Lucio is still goated as hell. Listen, I'm defending the Moira players. I actually think Moira Lucio with Orisa right now, or Ram or Rhine, still cooks so hard. Moira in metal ranks especially, if we go like bronze to diamond, Moira should be higher than C tier. Like this one, Karuja, I don't believe it. I don't even play Moira, but Moira is such a menace. All right, now we get to the bottom of the tiers. This is where things get a little dicey. Like honestly, Roadhog overwhelmingly minus 15. Everything was up from, 13 is really high, of course, but like minus 5, and then it suddenly jumps to minus 15. Like this has a gradient from 13, 12, 12, 11, 8, 8, 8, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5. This is just 5 to 15. I rated Roadhog D. Everyone thinks it's D. C here, C here, D, D, F, D, 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 D. That's when you know a hero needs some help. Roadhog was plus 15 in season 2 according to Donna. That was the Roadhog meta. When they nerfed the one-shot, his identity was gone. They nerfed Kiriko. Kiriko complemented Roadhog really well with Kitsune Rush, of course. Like the Kitsune Whole Hog, when it used to do more with faster cooldowns, was kind of insane. But obviously, this is very alarming. One thing I also want to point out was the next lowest one was Reaper. I still think Reaper is an A tier hero. People don't play him because he's one-dimensional, a bit boring. Although arguably he's not that good in in the Orisa and against Orisa and Sigma. I think Reaper would be better in like against the Ram meta a little bit more. He's a bit more situational, so maybe I can knock Reaper down to B, but in no way do I believe Reaper is like, in what world do you think Reaper is on the same level as Roadhog, D,
C,
Okay, that's subjective. Like same here with Apply. I don't think Reaper's an F tier hero. I just no, I can't see these two in the same tier. Even if you don't even play anything like synergistic with Reaper, he can play his own game. Have you guys seen the Zarya bubbling Reaper comp right now? People are running that in high rank. I saw like 3 Reapers today. Just because he's boring doesn't mean he's weak. It's the Reaper, bubble the Reaper, Zarya, play Zarya against the Arista comp, bubble the Reaper in, and play a strat off that. That shit is actually kind of cooks. But it does need 2 people to be on the same. The last game I just played before was tier list. They bubbled the Reaper and just wiped us. B, C. I think C is a bit subjective. At worst, I think Reaper's B. This one feel pretty strongly about. I don't feel in any world should he be C or D. Okay, and then anything else that stands out here? Junkrat D. There's more Junkrats this season. I would agree that Ryan is like harder to play this season. I gave him maybe more of a friendly rating, but Ryan is pretty ass. I'd actually lower him right now in top 500. I gave him a B+. I actually think Ryan's lower. Probably the C now in top 500. But B+ for your average player, sure. I'd change that. I think Hammond is still C. Wanda still thinks Ball is A. C, B, 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 B. And I think that's it. Like, I skipped a lot of them. I didn't want to go through every single hero times 16. That's a lot of things to talk about. I just wanted to point out the more alarming ones. This is a great at-a-glance value. Like, when averaged out across 16 people, you get a better understanding of how people feel about a hero. And that is Donler's list on Reddit. Donler in the chat as well. Credits to him for that. And that is the review for the Season 6 meta so far. When you take everyone's opinion together. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know.